So I made a game about a frog in 2 weeks. This is how. And I realised I hadn't made it clear in my past 2 weekly game videos, but this is game 3 out of 4 of my weekly game challenge. If you want to watch the other videos, they will be in the description. I wanted to make this game as random as possible, so when I playtest it, it isn't that boring. So the perfect solution for this is a roguelike game. If you don't know what a roguelike game is, it's a game where every run is randomized, and when you die, you get sent right back to the beginning. The plan for the game is that there will be 4 zones. Each zone will contain 4 different enemy types, and each zone will also have 10 rounds. You have to progress through each of the zones without dying once at all, and then if you do that, you will win. The 4 areas are the grasslands, the graveyard, the snow biome, and the desert. Here are all the enemies for each biome. So we've got the grassland enemies, the graveyard enemies, snowland enemies, and the desert enemies. In this game, I found some quite interesting ways to actually reuse some of the scripts I made. For example, we have this very simple rotator script, which just has a speed variable and it will just rotate the sprite. And I also have the script used for the fly, which is also somewhat simple. It just finds the player and then starts moving towards it. So this is used on the laser and fly, as I'll show on screen now. But I can actually combine these scripts to make something more interesting, like the skeleton. So that's a completely new enemy, and I don't actually have to write a single new line of code. So let's talk about the player attack and movement for a little bit. So the movement's just very simple. It's just top-down movement, so you can move up, down, left, and right with WASD or the arrow keys. And we have the attack, which is more simple than it looks. All that's really happening is when I click, I increase the length of the sprite, which I can do very simply by just stretching it on the X value. So, and then when the tongue collides with enemies, it deals 1 damage. And that's really it for the gameplay, and this is actually one of the games where the art actually took a lot more time than the coding, which is not something that normally happens in my games. It's probably because a while ago I was talking about the reusing scripts, so most of the enemies are just like reuse scripts, and I have 16 enemies that I had to animate, so that's probably why the art took more than the code in this game. So then I made the cover art for the main menu, which is totally not ripped off from my other game, Towers Life, but we'll just ignore that and pretend I made this totally original. And then I made the win scene and the lose scene. So this is the win scene. It looks like this, and there's 2 simple buttons. We've got a menu button, and you can play again. So let's look at the lose scene next. The lose scene is very similar to the win scene, but instead of a crown, there is a skull, and the background is grayed out to make it look more sinister. And once again, there is play again button and the menu button. And the final thing to finish the game off is I made a main menu screen, which consists of a play button, a credits button, and a quit button. So the credits take you to the credits like this, and then you can go back to the menu like that. So now the game is finished. I'm going to upload it on itch.io and Newgrounds. So if you want to play the game, you can play it on itch.io and Newgrounds in the link in the description. If you liked the video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. If you disliked the video, make sure to smash the dislikes button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.